the available immigration, residency, or citizenship options. We often get inquiries from individuals about the available options in the market today. There's no one specific answer to this question. The most suitable and the most applicable product that a foreign national should consider before they invest time and money is a product that meets and fulfills the objectives that the inquirer has for himself, herself, their family, their household. And based on those parameters, the correct product is identified. Understanding the requirements and the obligations involved in the attainment of the product and the sustenance of the product thereafter could reap dire consequences on applicants without understanding and clearly identifying the objective of the investor or the skilled person, their household, their spouses, their children. The choice in many cases would be the wrong choice of product. To illustrate the importance of identifying the objective, we would like to demonstrate this example. We often get inquiries from individuals who have heard about the merits of carrying a Canadian passport, and they present this as their desired product that they wish to embark on the process of attaining. Once we outline the requirements of obtaining the permanent residency status, which is one of the requirements and the prerequisites of becoming a Canadian citizenship, they realize that this is not the program for them. Individuals who accept the requirements and the obligations and the responsibilities, financial, time investment involved in the process of attaining permanent resident status are often surprised to learn of the obligations that are imposed upon permanent residents of Canada after the attainment of the PR status. Once you have realized the permanent residency status in Canada, you are required to meet certain obligations and fulfill certain requirements in Canada for you to become a citizen of the country. Once you become a citizen of the country, that's when you would be in a position to apply for the Canadian passport. So once the inquirer realizes the obligations and the time and the effort and the funds required to invest in such a project, they would realize that this does not meet their objective for a myriad of reasons, and that is when they decide that they should seek alternative options. Immigration, residency, citizenship. What does that mean? What does immigration mean? To more fundamentally understand the meaning of the word immigration and the list and matrix of laws that evolved and generated as a result of this definition, we need to go back and ask the question as to why have countries enacted immigration laws and opened their doors for immigrants from foreign nationalities and foreign jurisdictions. A simple and a very quick answer is demography. In many instances, countries that have immigration programs that welcome foreign nationals into the country are countries that are seeking to enrich and enhance their population and the weave of their societies by attracting individuals with certain types of skills, certain types of managerial and investment abilities, so that they can contribute into the country's economy and social weaves. A country like Australia or Canada, to illustrate this definition, is a country that has a significantly large landmass and a modest population, where the economy of the country and the total birth rate and multiple other factors are heavily reliant on the number of inhabitants of the country. And since the population is rather low, and in many instances in countries in North America and Australia and some European countries, the problem of the seniority of the population is a big concern to the country. So basically, the legislative authorities and the legislators of the country, they would devise and they would enact a law that would attract foreign nationals into the country so that they become and blend into the society and become members, producing and productive members of the society of that country, and thereby increasing the population with the qualities that the country deems necessary for their own standards and their own economic outlook and their own country's background and heritage and the type of population that they would like to see increased in the country. So an immigration program would be enacted. Such programs are usually programs that require the presence and requires the commitment of the foreign national that was granted the residency status in the country to remain inside the country for usually prolonged periods of time, whereby they would qualify for a byproduct of the immigration, which is a citizenship status or a passport status. So the correct way to go about immigration programs is to respect the reason why the program was enacted. If a foreign national wishes to go to Canada for the purpose of finding a better life, they like the Canadian way of life and they want to live and work in Canada, then they should apply for an immigration route to Canada. Once they're granted the residency status in Canada, naturally they will go to Canada because this is what they wanted to do in the first place. An individual who does not want to live in Canada but likes the Canadian passport and wishes to carry the Canadian or the Australian passport, there is no way that they can achieve this final product from the Canadian immigration system if they do not go to Canada, live in Canada, fulfill their obligations as permanent residents, and eventually fulfill the requirements of citizenship. So, trying to mutate an immigration program to convert it into a program that just grants the end product of citizenship or passports doesn't usually work if the applicant is applying through legal and sanctioned methods. So, the definition of an immigration program plays a great role in us understanding if this is the right program for us. The intention has to be harmonious and has to be synergetic with the definition of the program that we are applying through.